Good morning. Welcome back to Expat Insights. I'm your host, Raju Mantian. We are on the subject matter of letting the young lead. And now our guests are a couple, Brazilian gentleman, young Brazilian gentleman by the name of Luis Petzold. He's the founder of a project, he says, but it's going to be an NGO very soon. Founder of GoodExchanges, and his lovely companion, Riza Alagenia. Am I right?
Perfect.
Liza Alagenia, and she's the co-founder of GoodExchanges. So, and they are here to talk about letting the young lead and what they are going to do with the youth in the Philippines. Welcome to Expat Insights.
Maraming salamat po. Magandang umaga po.
Walang po anuman. Mabuhay kayo diretso.
Mabuhay.
Mabuhay.
So good. Luis and Riza, maybe spend a minute telling me about yourself first. Like, who are you?
Okay, that's a very broad question. I love that.
Okay, 1 minute.
In a minute.
Sounds philosophical.
Like we said, I'm from Brazil. By profession, I'm a filmmaker. I went to film school, communications. The last 6 years, I've been working with NGOs and training young people around the world, also here in the Philippines. And now we're starting a new project, which is meant to take a young Filipino to travel abroad by July this year.
Good. So that's who you are. That's who you are.
In a minute.
But that's what you said. That's what you do. That's not who you are. Anyway, what do you do, Riza, and who are you?
By profession, I'm a lawyer.
Wow.
By inclination, I consider myself a traveler and an advocate for experiential learning. And that's something Luis and I have in common.
That's
We're
experiential
passionate,
learning.
yes, and about traveling.
Good. So the next question usually is after who are you, is what are you doing in life? You said you're helping the young, no? So where are you going with what you're working at?
Well, I think it's a continuous opportunity for everyone to learn every day. So like we were saying before the interview, as long as you're young at heart, I think you're always learning. So that's part of everyone's journey, and as much as we are learning every day, and I think the idea that we're creating is that the more we can also give back while we are learning, the more we get in return, and hence the reason for spreading the word and letting people know that I think it's a good opportunity. Even if you have your own job every day and you go back and forth, or you are a businessman or a businesswoman, or you're doing things on your own, and you work already for NGO, or you work for a government, there's so many ways you can actually help the people that have less than you do. So I think in that way, I think that's more or less on the who you are, what you do, is how to give back and create good exchanges.
So what time or what aspect in your life brought you to this kind of thinking? No, surely people don't grow up or are born thinking like that. No? There's a turning point in our lives that we say we want to do this. Was there something like this in your life?
Yes. Well, you know how when you like a good movie, you want all your friends to watch it.
Right.
When you read the book, it's the same thing. You want everyone to read it. I feel the same about traveling. My parents are both in the airline industry.
Really, PAL?
Yes.
Okay.
And another airline. And my first plane ride was at 4 months old.
Wow.
So I think travel is in the blood. And I would like as many people as possible to have that same experience.
So the turning point was the realization that you love to travel.
Yes, and I'd like, in connection with experiential learning, people who don't necessarily have that same opportunity to be exposed to that experience.
So the guest who was here before you, and his antidote, as you mentioned, that when you figure out that there's a key to life, there's a key to living life successfully, you find it and you want to tell everyone else, and that's what you're saying. In his case, it was breathing. And in your case, you say it's traveling.
Exposing yourself to others, to other cultures, open up your vision, broaden up your horizons. I think that's the key. Once you have a chance to live in other people's families in other countries, have a chance to travel and help an NGO in a different part of the world, So you also have a chance as a tourist sometimes to explore a different place. And the minority around in the world are the ones that travel. There are a lot of people that never leave their homes. So imagine for the ones that cannot necessarily afford the experience, either in time or financially, also have an opportunity to enhance their education, both as an experience but also in different cultural ways. And I think those things, once you come across those, you become very fond of it. And you want to travel a little bit more. You want to expose other people to the same great experiences you had. And by doing that, you help to give back. And what we are doing is somehow bringing people together, creating a synergy of people that would like to also support a young Filipino to travel abroad and become a little bit of an ambassador of the Philippines. So from that point of view, the project is meant to be all the way from now to July. We've been doing events. We did a great fundraiser already in March. We'll be doing another one very soon, the beginning of June, probably June 1st. Also some online activities. And if anyone wants to participate, we're welcoming partners. We've been partnering already with a local NGO that works with indigenous people, Cartwheel Foundation.
Cartwheel?
Foundation, yeah. They've been around for 15 years, and they
1999.
sponsor a lot of scholars all over the Philippines in the IP, the indigenous peoples. And they're very also keen on the opportunity to work together to get one of their scholars to join this international camp in July.
So tell me now about the project. So let me try and understand. So you want to have indigenous kids, Filipinos, get a chance to travel to one country one time or many times, or?
That's a great point. First of all, we're looking into underprivileged overall. We're starting with indigenous because aside from sometimes underprivileged, they also minority. They also have to face so many cultural challenges and adaptations.
Within the Philippines, there are minorities, yeah?
Yes.
Like, for example, what are we talking about?
So many different tribes all over the country. They come from the tribes and they have to go to university, to go to school. So that's already a big adaptation. Some don't even have a birth certificate. Hence, imagine a passport.
Is that true? Here in this country, in this
in
time
this day
and
and
day,
age,
there are people, no birth certificates?
Yes, we still, like it's amazing, like I was saying, learning. We learned about that recently. And you imagine that we normally on our daily lives, we would not even,
think about that somebody doesn't have a birth certificate.
Imagine a passport or a visa to go abroad. So all those things.
Passport and visa, I can still understand. Birth certificate, people don't have it. My folks who were born in Pakistan, when they moved to India, they didn't have birth certificates. Huh? I'm not talking of 2 or 3 generations before that. People did not know their birthdays.
Wow.
So you mean to say today in time and this time and day, there are still people who don't have it?
Correct.
Wow.
And that was a great finding for us as well.
Wow.
So that's
to me it is.
I know. So those simple things that you take for granted that they are there.
Right.
Even facing those, we have to do it by putting all the pieces together to allow a young indigenous person to travel.
Wow.
And like we were saying before, we're starting as a project. It's been a goal of ours. It's a way to also say thank you for all the great experiences we had so far. So GoodExchanges, as long as an exchange and something good, we would like to help to provide. And as of now, our goal is to have this one young Filipino to travel by July.
Just one?
For the moment,
now,
yes.
And where will he go?
The project we're choosing, it's a camp. It's an international summer camp in the United States that happens for 3 weeks and has so many interesting components, which are international participants, so young people coming from different countries, leadership training, so the youth to lead that we're talking about, community service, performing arts, and of course, sports and all the other activities that camps in general have. Yeah. So it's an opportunity. Imagine the leap, right, coming from
for this single individual.
For the single individual. Yeah. So it's a great opportunity to also send the message that in a certain way, people can take small steps as long as they take a step in a good direction, and that good direction creates some positive exchanges.
Wait, my paradigms, my biases are kicking in, no?
Nice.
And I'm kind of aware of that, my biases are kicking in. You're saying that you're going to send one individual abroad for 3 weeks, and that's a project?
Yes.
Is that, you said, a small step. For me, I think that's a piece of cake. Is that not? Is it not?
Well, if you think about coming from the fact that...
Coming from my own background,
Yes,
that's a piece of cake. Yeah.
Let's say if somebody has all the means to do it, it's easy. So
No, what I mean is a project for Cartwheel or Red Cross to do that, to send somebody, is that challenging?
It is, because the point is, I don't think that kid would travel unless we would be making all the steps that we've been doing to make it happen. So in a certain way, it might sound like a small step, but not even having a birth certificate, it's something that you think about it. And just to have a simple idea, these kids now are not even here in their schools. They are back in their tribes. So how do you communicate with the kid to even know if the kid would be allowed by the parents to leave their tribes, miss school for 3 weeks to actually go to the...
So you don't have a candidate yet?
We do have.
We have a
Yeah.
So you do have a
Yeah,
candidate.
we do have more than one.
So you're speaking generally that there might be candidates who don't have permissions from their folks yet.
Yes, but that's the process. You have to really go into the small provinces, into the
I can
tribes.
understand. If there was a person living by the rivers, there's a tribe that lives by the lake. Or what do they call them, you know? People who live by the streams and rivers. Like mountainous people, these people live by the river. So if I had to take their kid and send him to Connecticut, they would be concerned that where the heck are you sending my kid and what for? So that's the challenge, no?
Yes, and also, I mean, you brought a good point, which is, it might seem to certain people such a small, easy step. So why wouldn't also they do their own easy step? Why wouldn't they help us to do ours? So I think there is a lot of taking for granted out there. People say, I can do that too.
Yeah.
Why am I not doing that myself? Why are they having to do it? You know, so I think it takes a little bit of action and leadership.
Just like me, I said that's a piece of cake, but
Diba?
I'm not doing it.
Yeah. So I think it's, you've talked about, I don't know, for some people, be certain thousands of dollars. Oh, I can do that, fund that myself. And you know, around, there's so many people that can do that. So the point is, what we were looking is to start with a project, have a concrete outcome, and so far we met so many great people by doing
who
that.
are willing to support you.
And they are so excited about it.
Would you be willing to describe this person, the individual that you are shipping off, Shanghaiing to some other place?
Well, right now we have...
Are you open to do that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we have already the profiles. We can also...
I wish you'd brought his picture.
We have to, but we don't want to give
Maybe
people
next
hopes before they
yes,
actually get
it's true,
chosen,
unless
of
the
course.
journey is complete,
But
okay.
we have currently 2 already, and you see their pictures, you see their tribe outfits, you read their messages and their statements. Why do they want to do good? And how do they want to turn into a better person, one breath at a time? Like, what are the goals of like raising their community, supporting their identities? Like, if you think about indigenous tribes, each one got their own cultural identities.
I know.
So just like expats, right? We come here with different values, and then you end up meeting people from all over the world, and you learn from them and you share. So I think that's very interesting first step that's leading us in many interesting directions, and the people that around it are very positive.
No, Luis, these 2 people, Riza, can you describe them, like size, shape, age, name?
18 years old.
Both of them
17,
boys?
17, 18 years old. Right now are 2 girls.
Right. From what tribe?
2 different.
2 different tribes.
Can you name the tribes?
In Mindanao, in Davao.
Right.
Davao area.
And
Davao
you've
and
gotten
Bukidnon.
permission for them? You've gotten them a birth certificate and travel documents?
Let me say this. The organization that we're partnering with, Cartwheel, they are the ones that are responsible for the kids.
Right.
So they are current scholars of Cartwheel. So Cartwheel is actually helping us to identify the best candidates.
Right candidate.
Correct. Because one of the things we also realized, and we decided as one of our goals, was to say, let's work in partnership with the community that is already doing at their own level.
Yeah, I get the point. Yeah.
So at
Makes
local
sense,
level, Cartwheel is doing a fantastic job for 15 years. So who better than them, for instance, to help us to say, let's choose the best candidates, speaks the best English, have the best
I think
foundation.
not
Some are
just that.
magna cum laude, like they graduate with honors and things like that.
Not just selection, I think the documentation, the legalities
Yes.
will have to go through a certain institution. No?
Correct. And
Yes.
imagine like get a visa to the U.S., which is a burden for a lot of
For
people.
anyone.
So in a certain way, the good thing here is that we have a very strong case. We have a lot of good people and foundations that are supporting.
wow.
So it sounds like small steps, but when you put it all together,
Let
it
me-
becomes meaningful.
You are getting carried away with this passion of yours. No? Let me ask you, post the success of this project, post the success of you exchanging 2 indigenous girls and sending them to the U.S. for 3 weeks, what will happen post that? Where do you plan Good Exchanges to go from there up?
I think Risa and I are still really talking about it. And at this point, we're doing Out of Passion, as you mentioned, is a
Yeah.
project. And we're going to choose between at least the 2 or of a pool of at least 5, one candidate to do it. And I think that can lead in so many interesting directions. Like we were saying, we're going to be doing also a visit to World Youth Day in Brazil.
Right.
Last year, we took a group of 50 young people to join Rio Plus 20, the United Nations conference, which was very interesting. We are also doing other projects here with the Brazilian community in the Philippines, and part of our fundraising efforts are also related to promoting the culture of Brazil, the food, some music, drinks, and bringing that culture into the Philippines. What we know by experience, we go around and there's always Brazilian music playing.
No.
So-
So long-term impact, Riza, long-term impact on the Philippines. What kind of a dent will you make 5 years from now? What will happen?
Well, we're looking at the ripple effect. We're interested in how our young scholars can give back to the community using the life skills that they learned in the international summer camp. And really the goal for us is to make cultural immersion and experiential learning fun, so that it's something that you would want to freely talk about. You're not forced to write a paper about something too academic. It's something that you really want to share with others.
Get out of the building, it's called, no? And what do you need from the watchers that are watching this? What do you need to make this happen correctly, rapidly, and profitably long time?
Thank you. Thanks for asking that, because that's a great thing that we also putting together in our minds as we move forward. Is the first thing is, once we said about this beginning of March, people said, what, to July this year? You're already going to do this? And we said, well, we will. And I think that's something that's happening in this short while, especially with the paperwork and everything. And hopefully this will lead us to other great opportunities. We're looking in building great partnerships. So if anyone that is listening to us right now would get involved either on some similar projects or some other projects, we'd have also discussed with other people that said, well, we can do other exchanges, other good exchanges.
Or it doesn't have to be individuals.
Yes.
It could be a
Organizations.
learning exchange. It
Yes.
could be a technological exchange.
Yes,
That's what
cultural,
we're planning to
marketing, technology. Also, we love technology, internet. So can really be different types of exchanges. Like we were saying, we are having a good exchange now, right?
This is a great exchange. Yeah.
Ideas, concepts, something vibrant that keeps people positive and do something good. So this is one small step that hopefully will enrich our experiences.
One small step for the Brazilian and a leap for mankind.
like
Luis
that.
and Riza, we are left with a minute to go. Is there something that you want to say, or you just want to announce your website? It's great knowing what you're doing, and good luck with what you're going to do.
Thank you.
And hopefully it flies. Hopefully those two fly and come back home and become great leaders. Is there something you want to add, say, announce?
We can just say welcome everyone to keep updated by checking our website, which can be either goodexchanges.org or goodexchanges.com, either one of the two.
You have no idea yet?
We
Do
have
you have
we
a
have
URL?
We have
We
both.
have both.
Yeah,
Oh, you
we
have both. Okay, Good
So
Exchanges.
either one, and we'll be posting about the event that we'll be doing here. That very likely will be called Feijoada, the Brazilian event. We'll be posting about our crowdfunding efforts. We'll be posting about the experiences of the scholar. when they go and she goes or he goes and come back, and we're gonna keep all the good news there, and that's gonna be our way to communicate.
Riza, final words, bye-bye from you.
Yes, we hope to see and meet people with a like-minded spirit, and we hope that you can join us at our event. It's going to be fun and interactive. So,
all right, good luck and God bless.
we hope to see you there.
Maraming salamat
I'll be
po.
there whatever day you do the event. So how do you say bye-bye in Brazilian?
Até breve.
Ate brevi. So gracias, senor. Thank you very much,
Obrigado.
Riza. Good luck and God bless.
Thank you.
So that was Luis Petzol and Riza Alagenia from Philippines, and they are the founders and co-founders of GoodExchanges, and we wish them good luck. Next week on Expat Insights, we'll have Chef Mark Aubry, and we'll be talking about French cuisine. So thanks for watching Expat Insights. Have a great weekend. I'm your host, Raju Mandi, and good night.